Multimedia means that computer information can be represented through audio, video and animation in addition to traditional media like text, graphics, drawings and images. Multimedia is the field concerned with the computer controlled integration of text, graphics, drawings, still and moving images, that is video, animation, audio and any other media where every type of information can be represented, stored, transmitted and processed digitally. A multimedia application is an application which uses a collection of multiple media sources, for example, text, graphics, images, sound, animation and video. An interactive computer mediated presentation that includes at least two of the following elements: text, sound, still graphics or images, motion graphics and animation. Linear or non-interactive users watch from beginning to end. Non-linear and interactive users are given navigational control and can wander through the content. A multimedia system is a system capable of processing multimedia data and applications. Multimedia data is in form of text, graphics, audio and video. A multimedia system is characterized by the processing, storage, generation, manipulation and rendition of multimedia information. A multimedia system has four basic characteristics. Multimedia system must be computer controlled. That means it involves huge usage of computer systems. Multimedia systems are integrated. That means various devices used in the process are integrated to each other. The information they handle must be represented digitally. All sort of multimedia data is digitized first and then used in any presentation. So, be it image, audio, video or text, first it should be digitized. The interface to final presentation of media is usually interactive. Interactivity is the power on user's end. Multimedia presentation usually allow interactivity to control the content and let user interact with the content. Challenges for multimedia system. Supporting multimedia applications over a computer network renders the application distributed. This will involve many spatial computing techniques. For example, we have to use rendering farms and processing farm, wherein a sequence of processors is mounted on a board to get the cumulative power of processing for huge data, and storage farms wherein we make a stack of storage devices for storing heavy data. Multimedia systems may have to render a variety of media at the same instance, which is a distinction from the normal application. There is a temporal relationship between many forms of media. For example, video and audio. The two mediums should be presented in a sequence or say in a synchronization. If they are presented one after another, they won't be able to give you the correct quality of entertainment. Synchronization, intermedia scheduling of video and audio. We cannot enjoy the content wherein audio and visual is not in synchronization. For example, lip synchronization, that is the basic point which we are concerned about when we are watching a video content. Lip synchronization is clearly important for humans to watch playback of video and audio and even animation and audio. The key issues in multimedia system needs to deal with here are: how to represent and store temporal information, how to strictly maintain the temporal relationships on playback and retrieval, what processes are involved in the above. Data has to be represented digitally, so many initial source of data needs to be digitized. That means needs to be translated from analog source to digital representation. This will involve scanning of graphics or still images, sampling of audio or video, Although digital camera now exists, are very advanced in that sense, they will give you direct digital capture of images. The data is of huge size for audio and video. Therefore, storage, transfer and processing overheads are high in multimedia systems. Data compression techniques are very common while developing a multimedia application, because you need to frequently work with huge audio and video files, and it requires huge processing power. So, we use variety of compression techniques for audio and video, which in turn gives us variety of file formats and size and quality parameters to be set upon. The following features are desirable, if not a prerequisite for a multimedia system. It is desired that a multimedia system must have a very high processing power. It needed to deal with large data processing and real-time delivery of media. Special hardwares are required for this. Multimedia capable file system. It needs to deliver real-time media, for example, audio and video streaming. Special hardware and softwares are needed, for example, RAD technology. Data representation and file formats that support multimedia. Data representation and file formats should be easy to handle, yet allow for compression, decompression in real time. Efficient and high input output. Input and output to the file systems needs to be efficient and fast, needs to allow for real time recording as well as playback of data. For example, direct to disk recording systems. Spatial operating system to allow access to file system and process data efficiently and quickly. Need to support direct transfer to disk, real time scheduling, fast interrupt processing and input output streaming. Storage and memory. Large storage units of the order of 500 GBs or up to a TB also, and large memory, operating memory, large caches also required, and frequently of level 2 and level 3 hierarchy for efficient management. Network support. Client server systems common as distributed systems common. Software tools. User friendly tools needed to handle media, design and develop applications, deliver media. Now, let us consider the components, hardware and software components required for a multimedia system. Capture devices like video camera, video recorder, audio mixer, microphone, keyboards, mice, graphic tablets, 3D input devices, VR devices, that is virtual reality devices, digitizing and sampling hardware, storage devices like hard disks, portable hard disks, P2 cards and DVD. Communication networks we use for multimedia systems are Ethernet, token ring, intranets, internet and dedicated networks line. Computer systems, multimedia desktop machines, workstations, MPEG, video and DSP hardware, display devices, HD TV, SVGA cards, high-res monitors and color printers. Examples of multimedia applications: World Wide Web, hypermedia courseware, video conferencing, video on demand, interactive television, groupware, home shopping, games, virtual reality, digital video editing and production systems, multimedia database systems. The multimedia industry. The area of multimedia has grown rapidly over the past years. As hardware and software have become more available for usage, even for everyday users, the need of industry have continued to demand more and more processing speed and higher amount of RAM to achieve the end goal. People involved in multimedia industry have a variety of roles and require particular skill that enable the production of multimedia system. Education and training. leisure and entertainment, information provision, virtual reality and simulations, combined area. The influence of advances in technology on multimedia. Advances in technology including increased disk storage capacity, greater bandwidth capacities, improved resolution of capture devices, and the increasing processing power of CPUs have influenced the development of multimedia systems. Increased disk storage capacities as well as advanced codecs for compressing data have enabled the creation of high quality interactive multimedia products that can be stored with ease. The speed and capacity of internet connections have allowed large organizations to use online multimedia tutorials for computer based training, that is also known as CBT. Home users interact with a multimedia website for education purpose, but more and more people now regard the net as a source of multimedia leisure and entertainment, online games for example. Even traditional information providers such as newspapers and magazines are now creating web specific multimedia content. The increased use of DVDs over the past few years has brought about a significant change in the way we look at multimedia. Not only do we see a video as it was meant to be, but we can also interact with DVDs and have more control of the content that is displayed. The ever increasing speed and power of CPUs has had a tremendous influence on the ability of computers to create and display multimedia. High quality musical and video programs can be easily handled by modern CPUs with the added benefit of being able to jump to any point in a program instantaneously. The non-linearity feature. How are multimedia systems displayed? There is a variety of hardware that can be used to display and create multimedia that includes screens, CRTs, LCDs, plasma screens and touch screens, digital projection devices, speakers and sound systems, CD, DVD and VTRs or videotape players, head-up displays and headsets. How do we create a multimedia system using these display devices? There are several methods that enable us to create a multimedia system using these display devices. The methods includes the use of presentation software, software for video processing, authoring softwares, animation softwares, web browsers and HTML editors. Information processes in multimedia systems. When collecting data, we need to consider what data needs to be collected and how to collect such data. Processing multimedia systems need to process data for presentation. This covers the aspect of how text, number, audio, image, animation and video are integrated into the system. In order to organize our presentation from a multimedia system, we need to look at using a storyboard to show the flow of the screens. A storyboard can be in one of three main formats or a combination of the three together. The three main formats are linear, hierarchical and non-linear. Now the main point, storing and retrieving. There are various file formats used in multimedia systems that enable data to be stored and retrieved. Some of these formats are JPEG, that is Joint Photographic Experts Group, GIF, that is Graphics Interchange File Format, and BMP for images, QuickTime, MPG, AVI and WMV for video and animations, MP3, WAV, WMA and MIDI for audio, SWF for animation. Why is a multimedia system interactive? A multimedia system enables the participants to create a realistic display and the ability to interact with the system. Tools such as buttons and hotspots created in application enable the user to interact with the multimedia system. There is a need to ensure that the interactivity does not take away the meaning of the multimedia system. What demands can be made on hardware in multimedia system? In developing a multimedia system, the participant need to consider the type of hardware as well as softwares used. The hardware must be capable of supplying the needs of the multimedia system. These needs are primary and secondary storage capabilities, which will enable bit depth and color to be represented and also enabling the audio data to be sampled. Processing speed, which will enable video data and frame rates to be maintained, the processing of images such as morphing and distorting as well as animation. Display devices which are capable of displaying good pixel and resolution quality. In order to hardware to cope with this demand, several components need to be installed. Such items are additional memory, both VRAM and RAM, as well as additional hard disk space. The hardware itself must have a high processing speed to enable the number crunching involved in processing the data, which can range from video and audio back to word processing. The monitor or VDU, that is visual display unit, should be capable of displaying a large resolution capacity to enable it to display the digital data accurately. Multimedia content is very useful in the process of learning. Multimedia enhances learning, memory and retention. It is observed that for audio stimulation, the retention rate is 20%. For audio and visual content, the retention rate is up to 30%. And for interactive multimedia, the retention rate is highest, it is up to 60%. Copyright. Copyright refers to the legal protection for people who express ideas and information in a variety of forms. The most common forms resembles the data types that are used in multimedia system: writing, visual images, music and moving images. Computer software is also protected by copyright laws. It is important that when you use data that is not your own, it is acknowledged correctly and the author recognized and or is compensated. Appropriate use of the internet. Appropriate use of the internet is an issue of concern throughout the society, and many organizations monitor online activity users and have guidelines that users are expected to follow. Now that multimedia content is so readily available online, there is even more unease about whether people are being responsible while using the multimedia content. For example, at work or school, many organizations therefore have guidelines regarding usage of multimedia systems. For example, the creation, transmission, downloading of any offensive or obscene material. The merging of radio, television, communications and the internet, increasing improvements in digital technology is blurring the lines between the traditional formats of radio, television and the internet. Digital broadcasting is the catalyst for a new media delivering more diversity in content and a crossover between television, radio and online content. The integrity of original source data. The quality of a multimedia system will depend significantly on the integrity of the data it contains. It is important to cross-reference materials, particularly if it is sourced from the internet. Unlike books, which must generally comply with the editorial policy of the publisher, there are few barriers to publishing on the web. As a rule, government and educational sites are reliable, whereas online documents that have unverifiable information are more likely to have questionable integrity. Current and emerging trends in multimedia. An example of a current or emerging trend in multimedia is the increasing development of virtual worlds for entertainment and training. A multimedia authoring tool is a program that helps you write multimedia applications. A multimedia authoring tool enables you to create a final application merely by linking together objects such as a paragraph of text, an illustration, or a song. They are used exclusively for applications that presents a mixture of textual, graphical, and audio data. With multimedia authoring software, you can make video productions including CDs and DVDs, design interactivity and user interface, animations, screensavers, games, presentations, interactive training and simulations. There are different types of multimedia tool: card or page based tools, icon based tools, and time based tools. Card or page based tools. In these authoring systems, elements are organized as pages of a book or stack of cards. The authoring system lets you link these pages or cards into organized sequence, and they also allow you to play sound elements and launch animation and digital videos. For example, Visual Basic. Page based authoring systems are object oriented. The objects are the buttons, graphics, and other media elements. Each object may contain a programming script activated when an event related to that object occurs. Icon based tools. Icon based event driven tools provide a visual programming approach to organizing and presenting multimedia. First, you build the flowchart of events, tasks, and decisions by using appropriate icons from a library. These icons can include menu choices, graphic images, and sounds. When the flowchart is built, you can add your content, text, graphics, animations, sounds, and video movies. For example, Authorware Professional. This software allows you to author multimedia content. Time-based tools. Time-based authoring tools are the most common of multimedia authoring tools. In these authoring systems, elements are organized along a timeline. They are the best to use when you have message with the beginning and an end. Sequentially organized graphic frames are played back at the speed that you can set. Other elements such as audio events are triggered at the given time or location in the sequence of events. For example, Animation Works Interactive or Adobe Flash. Elemental tools help us work with the important basic elements of your projects, its graphics, images, sound, text, and moving pictures. Elemental tools include painting and drawing tools like CorelDRAW, Adobe Illustrator, Freehand, CAD, that is computer aided designing, and 3D drawing tools. This includes 3D Studio Max, Maya, which is from Autodesk. Image editing tools like Adobe's Photoshop and Corel's PhotoPaint. OCR, that is optical character recognition softwares, which we usually get bundled with scanner software. Sound editing programs like Sound Booth, Nuendo for multi-track audio editing, and Vegas. Tools for creating animations and digital movies like Flash for 2D animation with interactivity, and for digital movies Adobe Premiere, Final Cut Pro, and Vegas Video. Input devices are keyboards and mice, scanners and digital cameras, MIDI keyboards, touch screens, trackballs, tablets, voice recognition systems, magnetic cards, encoders and readers, video cameras. Output devices are monitors, speakers, VR, that is virtual reality helmets, and VR immersive display. Storage devices. MOD, that is magneto-optical discs, laserdiscs, Blu-ray discs, P2 storage cards. The basic stages of a multimedia projects are planning and costing, design and production, testing and delivery. Knowledge of hardware and software as well as creativity and organizational skills are essential for creating a high quality multimedia project. Multimedia development team comprises of a project manager, a multimedia designer, interface designer, content writers, video specialist, audio specialist, multimedia programmer and a multimedia producer for the web. The team of these people can work on a multimedia system to execute a multimedia project.